Hello, and welcome to Beyond Mount Rushmore. And Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. It's 2026.
2026.
Unbelievable.
I know. How about those aliens? I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Boy, we were all shocked with that one, weren't we? What are we talking about today?
Stan, that'd be your job, buddy. I'm Jeff Hickox. This is our unofficial presidential historian, Stan Now Alone.
Hi, everybody. We got so caught up in aliens in the new year, we forgot to introduce ourselves. And I do know what we're talking about today.
I'd love to hear it.
And we previewed this on our last podcast.
We did.
There are a fistful of presidents who, I don't know if you call it a desire to serve, ambition. Maybe it's like they don't know what else to do with their lives, but they have chosen, and it's a very small group, they've chosen that after they left the presidency, after their term was completed, they remained in political public life.
And it's so strange because the presidents now, I mean, basically when you're a president now, that's the pinnacle of the career, right?
You're supposed to retire.
And you just go off into the sunset.
You give speeches, you write a book, you work on your library. But that's what happens, and you become an elder statesman.
Right.
People go and seek your advice. The Democratic Party still goes and seeks Barack Obama's advice.
That's true.
John F. Kennedy used to go and consult with Harry Truman. He even consulted with Ike. Very seldomly did they say, I'm not ready to quit. I'm going to continue. But we're blind to a lot of this because the first president that ever did that was George Washington.
You say that was the first president.
But he was so reluctant to do it. But again, he's different than everybody else. He did it for the country.
He didn't really want to be president either.
No, he did not.
So any of the jobs that he didn't want to do, but damn, he did them good.
Washington, after his two terms, simply wanted to leave office, go back to Mount Vernon, run his plantation.
Drink his cherry bounce.
Not to say, again, he started the elder statesman thing. He would correspond with his fellow founding fathers and would go back to explaining things and how he felt things should be done. But soon war loomed with the French.
Yeah.
Privateers were seizing American ships out at sea in 1798, and relations between France and the United States were getting bad. And it led to confrontations, and Washington wrote to the Secretary of War, his name, James McHenry, and he took it upon himself. He said, I will organize President Adams' army for him. Okay. I'll help you. I'm an elder statesman. I will help you. I have a little bit of knowledge in this.
Yeah.
Adams wanted more. No. Now, what the presidents today, they're commander-in-chief of the armies.
Correct.
Adams nominated Washington as a lieutenant general and the position of commander-in-chief of the armies on July 4th, 1798.
Wow.
And Washington, out of obligation, agreed.
So the president at that time was not the commander-in-chief?
Adams obviously just said, I'm going to make you the commander-in-chief because I can't handle this.
I mean, it was a good choice considering Adams' history and considering Washington's history.
Right. And a little tidbit on this that not many people know, and I'll give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Fox's Brian Kilmeade wrote a great book on the U.S. Navy and how it was created under John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
Barbary Pirate?
The Barbary Pirates. Jefferson, he said, you don't understand these guys.
Yeah.
They may go and say, we want to make peace or we'll make a deal with you, but they don't abide by that. They go under Muslim rule. And back then, these Barbary pirates would go and capture Americans, and they had to swear their allegiance to Allah.
Yep.
And if they didn't, they were killed.
Yeah.
And it was Jefferson that had to tell Adams, you don't get these people, do you?
Yeah, he did not, by the way.
And so thus Adams makes Washington commander-in-chief.
Right.
Washington did not want that, but he agreed. He served as the commanding general of the Army from July 13th, 1798 until his death 17 months later. He was obligated. He felt he had to do it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, no one came ashore here, and we didn't have any wars at that time.
No, that cooled off.
No army invaded the United States during that period. So, although we don't recognize it, precedent was set of a political life after the presidency with Washington.
Right. There was a possibility now.
James Madison, our fourth president, and James Monroe, our fifth president, both stayed in political life after the presidency.
Right.
Both continued to oversee their state's constitutional conventions after their presidency. Madison, the Virginia Constitutional Convention of 1829 to 1830, and Monroe, the presiding officer of the Virginia Constitutional Convention of 1829 to 1830. So both of them, again, states such an important thing.
Yeah.
And they were going to go and represent their state.
Madison helped write the original one.
Yep. That was the most important thing. And that's another thing that people don't realize. They'll say, why does Florida have certain laws and no state income tax? And where, say, somewhere in New Jersey, it's because it's states' rights.
Right.
We have our own government.
Correct.
We are just protected under the United States of America so that no enemy will come and get us.
That's why we're the United States, not just America.
But things changed even further with John Quincy Adams, our sixth president. He was the first former president to hold office on a national level. He said, I am not ready to leave politics. I'm going to continue in national politics. He served, now get a load of this, and by the way, he was a crotchety old man. Nobody liked him. He served 9 terms, 9, as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from Massachusetts.
I did not know that.
He served between 1830 and 1848.
9 terms.
9 terms.
Wow.
On February 21st, 1848, the House of Representatives was discussing the matter of honoring United States Army officers who served in the Mexican-American War. Adams had been a critic of the war, and as congressmen rose up to say, aye, he yelled, no. He rose to answer a question put forth by the Speaker of the House, Robert Charles Winthrop. Immediately thereafter, he collapsed, having suffered a massive cerebral hemorrhage in the House of Representatives.
I guess that was a very forceful no.
Yeah. 2 days later, on February 23rd, he died at 7:20 p.m. with his wife at his side. Where? In the United States Capitol. He was at the Speaker's room inside the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And you know about doctors.
Especially that time.
Leave him in that room. He stands a better chance than going and being cupped.
He would have suffered a lot longer before he eventually died anyway.
His last words, quote, "This is the last of earth. I am content." By the way, he also tried to run for governor of Massachusetts in 1833, but lost that one.
Oh.
But he
died in political office?
He was debating in the House of Representatives when he dropped dead.
That is something.
Yeah. We've told you about President John Tyler.
We have talked about that one for sure.
10th President of the United States. We discussed it. He was denied the nomination of his own party for re-election. Being from Virginia in 1861, he became the only former president ever to run for an office outside of the United States.
He felt forced to because of states' rights, which we just mentioned earlier.
Correct. He was selected to be the Confederate States Provisional Congress member and then was officially elected to the Confederate States Congress.
Right.
He died before he could take office.
Before he could take office, right. As we recap that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, go check that one out.
It's a great episode.
Pretty fascinating one.
Yeah.
Okay. Our 17th president, Andrew Johnson. He should have followed what most presidents had done and dropped out of public life.
Yeah. Most people want him to drop more than that.
He was, but Andrew Johnson, and we've discussed him before, he was a jerk.
Yep.
He was not a very good man. Mm-mm. He was a racist. Abraham Lincoln set up Reconstruction in the South to incorporate freed slaves and to make them part of society, and Andrew Johnson reversed it all.
Yep.
He was a jerk. One of the worst presidents we've ever had.
Yeah.
Period. Andrew Johnson was denied the nomination of his own party for president after serving the remainder of Lincoln's term. They wanted U.S. Grant.
Yes, they did. They wanted a general.
Johnson went, follow me on this. Johnson, this idiot, imbecile, rube, bum, couldn't take no for an answer. And as I tell you this story, Jeffrey, even as he was dying, he wouldn't take no for an answer because he was an ass. Johnson went back to Tennessee after he lost the presidency and his term ran out. He decided to run for Senate.
Yeah.
He tried 2 times in Tennessee, and despite black voter suppression, thanks to him, he lost both times. They didn't want him.
Good.
Even when black people were suppressed, meaning there would be nothing but white people voting for him,
right?
He lost.
Yeah. That says something, doesn't it?
He tried a 3rd time to run for Senate. This in 1874, and he won. Mm-hmm. He did so during a legislative session on January 26th of that year, 1874. Democrats, which he was one of, elected 92 legislators to the Republicans' 8 legislators, and it took the 54th ballot of going around the room, the 54th ballot, before Andrew Johnson won the Senate by a single vote.
Single vote.
And more proof that this idiot wouldn't give up. Johnson returned home after the special session concluded.
Yep.
In late July 1875, he was convinced some of his opponents were defaming him in the state of Ohio. So he decided, I'm going to travel to the state of Ohio and give a bunch of speeches against them. What an idiot.
Yeah.
He began the trip on July 28th, but stopped to visit his daughter's farm in Elizabethton, Tennessee. Going to stop, get a little rest, and visit the daughter.
Have a lunch.
That evening, he had a stroke. Let us get you a doctor, Daddy. You're the former president. You're a senator. You're an important man. Let us get you a doctor, Daddy.
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't need a doctor.
Correct. He refused medical treatment. He waited until the next day. He did not improve, and they called upon 2 doctors to take a look at him. When the doctors were staring at him going, what can we do? Leech him? Bloodlet him? But what can we do?
With something?
He had another stroke.
Oh, well, that's that.
On that evening of July 30th, he died early the following morning at the age of 66.
Wow.
And when he met the devil, he had some explaining to do.
Right. Yes, he did.
Out of all the former presidents who wanted to hold political office after the presidency, the most notable was the post-presidential career of William Howard Taft.
100% agree.
27th President of the United States. Now, before I go and tell you about Taft, let's hear what he sounded like.
Yeah.
It is our duty to take every legitimate and proper step we can to persuade the nations of the world to settle their controversies in some other way. They are looking to us as a country independent of entangling alliances, separated from all possible attacks by two wide oceans, rich, powerful, and in a situation where nobody can accuse us of being afraid of any nation or of taking this step because we are afraid of war if war were a necessity.
So he leaves the presidency.
A wonderful orator.
Oh, he was. He was a good speaker.
Yeah.
So he leaves office, and he starts figuring out what he wants to do. You know why? Because there was no pension for a president at that time.
Oh, so you didn't get money for life like they
Nope.
do now.
There was no compensation expected from the government after leaving the White House. So he had to go and figure out how to earn a living.
Yeah.
He contemplated a return to the law practice he had,
Mm-hmm.
but then ethics issues started to come up. If he went back to practicing law,
Gotcha, yeah.
Taft had appointed many federal judges, including a majority of the Supreme Court. This would raise questions of a conflict of interest at every federal court appearance he made as an attorney.
It's understandable if you think about it.
So, upon invitation, Taft accepted a position at Yale University as Kent Professor of Law and Legal History. So
There
he
you
was
go.
going to go to Yale.
Yeah.
Warren Harding's running for president, and Taft likes the idea that Harding is running.
Warren G.
He went to the Harding home and advised the Republican nominee on possible administration appointments. Again, looking at the elder statesman, getting advice from a former president, and doing things like that.
Right.
It was then that Taft later said Harding casually asked him if he would accept an appointment to the Supreme Court. Would you accept it?
Yeah. Right. If I brought this up, would you say yes?
Taft was interested,
Yeah.
but he had one condition. Having served as president and having appointed two of the present associate justices and opposed another justice, he could only accept the chief justice position. That way he'd be the boss over all of them.
He was the president.
Yeah. And he made those things. He was the one that put up for nomination two Supreme Court
Right.
justices.
And one that
And one
he was
that opposed
against one.
that,
Right.
and one that he was against. Again, and the same goes as it is now. The president can nominate somebody, but it has to pass the Congress.
Right.
Harding offered several people to the court. Taft got it.
Yeah.
Taft was nominated and was nominated to the Supreme Court, and that happened on June 30th, 1921. When we live in such a partisan era where nominations that Trump has made or that Biden had made to the Supreme Court, and it was along party lines,
Yeah.
destroying lives. I mean, opening up and trying to humiliate anybody that runs for the Supreme Court.
It's terrible.
In the old days, it was pretty much if the president wants you, you're gonna get in.
Advice and consent does not mean party lines.
The Senate
I
confirmed.
digress.
The Senate, right? The Senate confirmed Taft on the very same day that his nomination went up. The vote, 61-4, without any committee hearings, without any of the
Wow.
testimony, without nothing. And you know who voted against him?
Who?
Three members of the Republican Party that he was a member of. They were progressive Republicans that didn't necessarily like Taft.
I gotcha.
And another one was a Southern Democrat.
Well, that makes sense.
When he was sworn in on July 11th, he became the first and to date only person to serve both as president and chief justice.
Huh.
Think about that.
That is crazy. Three equal pillars.
Yep. The Taft Court oversaw several things, individual and civil rights. The Taft Court laid the groundwork for the incorporation of many of the guarantees of the Bill of Rights to be applied against the states through the 14th Amendment.
Oh.
The 14th Amendment is being used so much now, but it was basically put into motion to give everybody, including African Americans, legal representation, that the full citizenship rights but now it's brought in for gay rights, trans rights, and they're trying to reinterpret the 14th Amendment. But it was on the Taft court that the 14th Amendment stuff first came up.
Gotcha.
Some of the other things, his court struck down an Oregon law banning private schools. A lot of cases on prohibition, which was going on through the country at that time.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that Taft did when he was on the Supreme Court. There was no Supreme Courthouse then. You know how they show you reporters outside the Supreme Court? There was no Supreme Courthouse.
Where did they meet?
When Taft became Chief Justice, the court did not have its own building and met in the Capitol.
Oh.
In 1925, Taft began a fight to get the court a building. And 2 years later, Congress appropriated the money to purchase the land to the east of the Capitol to build the Supreme Court.
Oh, that makes sense. It's they should have done that originally.
Yeah, It's
one of the three parts of government.
He was Chief Justice of the Supreme Court for 10 years. He was. During that time, Taft's health began to slip, including his memory. At Herbert Hoover's inauguration on March 4th, 1929, Taft recited part of the oath incorrectly.
Oh.
Here is Taft swearing in Herbert Hoover.
You, Herbert Hoover, do solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States, and to the best of your ability, that you will preserve, maintain, and defend the Constitution of the United States. I do.
That was a little off.
That was a little bit.
and he knew that it was a little off.
You could tell a little hesitation in his voice that he did not remember what he was supposed to say.
Taft said in writing afterwards, quote, "My memory is not always accurate, and one sometimes becomes a little uncertain."
Yeah.
He became more and more uncertain.
Yeah.
Taft worried that if he retired, because people were saying, "You're slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about retirement." But he worried if he retired, his replacement would be chosen by Hoover, whom he considered too progressive.
Oh.
If you remember, when he got onto the Supreme Court, there were two Republicans that opposed him because they were progressives.
Gotcha.
So Taft said, "I'm not leaving the Supreme Court yet. I want to know who's going to be the justice of the Supreme Chief Justice before I leave." But people around him and members of the court said he had no business being on the Supreme Court in the last few years of his life. Good. Taft even wrote, get a load of this, he wrote this to his brother, quote, "I am older and slower and less acute and more confused. However, as long as things continue as they are, I am able to answer to my place. I must stay on the court." Because even his brother's telling him, how about bringing it in?
Yeah. Come on home.
He didn't. On New Year's Eve, 1929, he insisted on attending another brother's funeral. By the end of January, Taft could barely speak and was hallucinating.
Oh, Lord.
Believe it or not, he did not resign until he had secured assurances from Hoover himself that he would not pick a progressive Supreme Court justice. Taft had barely enough physical or emotional strength to sign a reply to a letter of tribute from the 8 associate justices upon his retirement. He could barely acknowledge it. Taft died at his home in Washington, D.C. on March 8th, 1930, at the age of 72, likely of heart disease, inflammation of the liver, and high blood pressure. And according to some scholars, full-blown Alzheimer's disease.
Sounds like it.
Those are the presidents that held political office after they were president.
Some really interesting ones there, too, that's for sure.
Some of our past presidents made it a point, though, to remain in public life.
Right.
Richard Nixon was one of them. He, after serving 2 terms as vice president under Eisenhower,
right,
Nixon ran for president in 1960 and was soundly defeated.
Yes.
He thought, I'm going to rise above this, and I'm going to run for governor of California in 1962.
I didn't know he ran for governor of California.
Yes, sir. And was soundly defeated, which is the line that came up. You won't have Dick Nixon to kick around anymore.
Oh, that's where it came from?
Yes. And they thought he was completely done in political life until he showed up again in 1968 and became president of the United States.
Huh. I wonder how he turned that around. Amazing.
You want the conspiracy theorist in me?
What's that?
1968 was the year that Bobby Kennedy was running for president.
Right.
And was assassinated.
Yeah.
And it opened the door because nobody wanted Hubert Humphrey, a war vice president with Johnson, and opened the door for Richard Nixon, who said he would end the war in Vietnam.
Gotcha. Okay. So he kind of made some back-ended deals probably there.
And most of the people that broke into the Watergate Hotel in 1972 into the Democratic headquarters were the same people that were involved in the Bay of Pigs scandal.
Really? No kidding.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well
now
it's all coming to...
And one central figure by the name of E. Howard Hunt.
Yes.
I don't want to get into any conspiracies because I can go on a whole new show.
We already did that episode.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
So let's move away from Nixon.
Quickly.
How many remember President Gerald Ford after he was defeated by Carter in 76?
Right.
The Republican
Soundly.
The Republican convention is going on in 1980, and we're on the verge of nominating Ronald Reagan as president of the United States. Well, the Republican nominee at
An
that
outsider.
time. An outsider. Rumor had gone around that former President Ford, member of the Warren Commission, never mind, again.
Oh, boy.
But that Gerald Ford, an establishment Republican, was being considered to be Reagan's vice presidential nominee, that he was going to be on the ticket with Reagan. That talk was 100% real.
I don't remember that. And I think that's the first one I voted in was that.
Me too.
Election.
Reagan wanted George Bush. The party wanted Gerald Ford to be on that ticket. Reagan was open to the idea until Gerald Ford went on national television on the CBS network in front of Walter Cronkite and said this.
If there is to be any change, it has to be predicated on the arrangements that I would expect as a vice president in a relationship with the president.
Reagan was watching that.
Yeah, not happy.
And said, over my dead body will you be my vice president, and went ahead and named George Herbert Walker Bush.
That must have been some backstory stuff, because I remember in the convention, everybody was talking about Bush being his vice president, and that's what everybody wanted.
That was afterwards. There was the funny story that is, and you can, I believe, see it online, is Bob Schieffer, one of the last old CBS News guys, who retired probably about 10 years ago, talking about how Gerald Ford made his way up to the CBS booth to talk to Walter Cronkite about this. And Barbara Walters was over in the ABC booth, found out about it. And as the interview was going on, she was banging on the door trying to get Gerald Ford to get on to ABC and talk about it. But Reagan didn't let it go any further than that. He said, that's it.
That was the end of that.
Yep. And of course, we cannot leave the discussion of post-presidential life without bringing up Jimmy Carter.
Yep.
Our 39th president of the United States. No, he did not hold political office.
No, but what he did after his presidency
far surpassed his presidency.
Yeah, for sure.
Habitat for Humanity, the Nobel Prize.
Right.
He lived the rest of his life in the public eye, trying to do good things.
Yeah, diplomacy, humanitarian work. He did.
Yep.
He did a lot of great things, for sure.
What do you got for us?
Very good story, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, Howard Taft considered his role as the Chief Justice as his true ambition and his true
I believe it.
Goal in
if
life.
you go up as a lawyer, I would think you'd want to be a judge, and why not be the Chief Justice?
Exactly. He was the first president to throw a ceremony first pitch.
Yeah, because I believe Washington had the Senators then, the baseball team.
That's correct. And also Gerald Ford, as we all know that, though not a big deal. He was the only president never elected to national office. He never was elected.
That's true. He was not elected to the vice presidency. He was not elected to the presidency.
But he was offered a football contract.
Yeah, he was one hell of a football player. I believe
sure
he
was.
played at Michigan.
Yep. And Jimmy Carter, first president born in the hospital. Did you know that?
That probably cost him a few votes. You got to be born in a log cabin.
Right, exactly. You're not a log cabin? I'm not voting for
Yeah,
you.
forget it. In 2 weeks,
Yes.
and I've told you about this, we've got one heck of a story.
Yeah, we do, actually.
We've got the story of Robert Todd Lincoln,
who has shown up in a few of our previous episodes.
Yeah, he has. What a remarkable life. The only son of Abraham Lincoln to survive to adulthood.
Yep.
And because he was so close to power all his life, he was a witness to some of the most remarkable things in history.
It really is remarkable, by the way.
And we'll tell you a story that you will not believe, but it's true.
In 2 weeks.
There you go.
All right, this has been Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you needed.
That's right.
I'm Jeff Hickox. Across from me, our self-proclaimed presidential historian, Mr. Stan Nawalani.
Hey, everybody. We all done?
We're all done.
Go check out our Facebook page. Did you put the recipe for that drink on there?
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Good. I hope it's there. Although I got some in the other room if you want some. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.